Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you'll provide is the truth and truth to the best of your knowledge and belief? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Applicants will have 5 minutes each to present, and then they will be given a 3-minute opportunity to present and address the board after comments. It is encouraged that speakers not repeat what anyone else has said in the interest of time. That being said, we'll get started and I'll ask Jamie, Mr. Freeze, if you have any preliminary matters for us to consider.
Thank you, Chairman Jones. Yes, we have 2. The first one is for new elevations to be stamped. That was previously approved. That's for case BZA 23-042.
The previously approved elevations are on top and the new elevations are on bottom. You guys take a look. There should be a representative for the application.
Yeah, that's me.
BZA 2, what is it, Jamie?
23-042.
Please step forward.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Would you please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Yes, my name is Lauren Miller. I'm on behalf of Jeff Gay here for this residence, and yes, I was sworn in.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Jeff Gay was previously the one who presented for this.
Okay, thank you. And is there anything in particular that you want to draw our attention to, changes?
There were a handful of changes. They're all captured in those elevations. One of which was the garage roof slope. Previously, you guys had requested that it match the house, and he had mistakenly said it did match the house. He went back, rechecked the elevations and the slopes, and adjusted it accordingly to match. There was also, on the original house, he was proposing to bump up and lower the slope of one side of the roof to get more solar panels on it. After going at it with a structural engineer, they decided it wasn't worth it. So they are just going to keep that original roof slope what it was. There were some window adjustments as well. The garage window proportions and style were modified to be a better match to the existing dwelling. The French door on the east elevation changed to a single door with a side window. And then the north and south elevations, windows were very minorly changed to react to existing structure and stuff that's in the walls there.
Okay, thank you.
And that's it.
So this is like the 3rd iteration I feel like I've seen of this.
But this would only be the second.
It changed, something changed even if he had, like you had one version and he had something else, because we saw this last month.
Yeah, this was just last month.
Okay, but I think they had 2. Okay, thank you very much. Would the board entertain, I've already signed these things now, so. I'd entertain a motion to adopt the newly drawn plans for this case.
So moved.
And moved, is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Weatherly,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, they are stamped and duly delivered.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Did you sign in there?
No.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the next preliminary matter is BZA 22-158. This would be to remove a condition previously approved on the roofing board.
Is the applicant or representative for the applicant for BZA 22-158 present? This would be for the property on Oak Street. They were going to try and have their partner make it tonight, but they might not have been able to make it. Yeah, we'll call again at the end.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
So I'd like to accept a motion from a board member to amend the agenda as originally published to include an executive session under revised code 121.22 G3 at the conclusion of this meeting.
So moved.
Moved, is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Weatherly,
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, the agenda is duly amended. Next, we will call the first case BZA 22-159 for 2317 West Broad Street. Please come forward. Would you please have a seat? Have you been sworn?
I have.
And what is your name?
Juliana Silvera.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and have a seat and sign it. We'll hear from city staff and then you can go.
BZA 22-159 for 2317 West Broad Street. It's located on the southwest corner of West Broad Street and South Wheatland Avenue, Zone C4 Commercial District. It's located in the Greater Hilltop area. The 0.23 acre site is developed with a parking lot that services a barbershop and a hair studio. Surrounding uses include a used car dealership to the north, a barbershop, hair salon, and vacant parcel to the west, residential to the south, and neighborhood market to the east. The applicant proposes to allow a portable building, a food truck, to remain in the parking lot on the property overnight, which requires a special permit. Planning has no comment, as neither the Hilltop Land Use Plan nor C2P2 address the matter of portable structures such as a food truck placed in a semi-permanent manner as proposed. All comments from the Division of Traffic Management on this application have been resolved. The Greater Hilltop Area Commission recommends approval of this request, and staff is comfortable recommending approval, as food trucks who wish to remain on site on a more permanent basis are being reviewed by both neighborhood group and the BZA, which can impose conditions on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you very much. Question for you all from staff. Temporary buildings, this is considered a temporary building or not? It's a special permit for a building, trailer, whatever it is, and it goes in perpetuity until it can. If we approve it,
I mean, you can impose a time limit if you would like to, but if you don't impose one, then it would go with the land, yes.
I feel like when we started doing portable buildings and things of that, is that different?
Yeah, it is, because typically the portable buildings we'd seen in the past were for portable generators or, portable offices for something that eventually will be built or the site would be developed. But this is a little bit more unique of a nature, which is why we crafted our summary to reflect the, permanence of it, and that it is reviewed. And, if there are concerns about vandalism or blowing up or the fuel tanks doing anything, you can be rest assured that the fire department and the health department are reviewing them as well yearly.
So the language is included in this, it's a portable building as a food, portable building as a food truck. And if they go in and put a portable building as,
Generator, they would have to come back to you.
okay, and the only thing they can operate there is food, anything else they'd come back to us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for indulging me that. You have the recommendation of all of the city staff folks, as well as the Greater Hilltop Area Commission. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Seeing and hearing none, are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, I do have a question, and it's probably more towards staff than we are allowing a trailer that can't be moved to stay there without a heavy truck that's going to pull it out.
Yes, that's correct.
Good.
Go
Okay. Somebody want to call the question?
That is the trailer.
I mean, it's on wheels.
Mhm.
So it's easily pulled out.
So I have a question. Truck.
Yes.
Stop. So if the parking lot would be sold, special permit stays
Yeah.
with the land.
Mhm.
But the trailer is not part of the land, so this.
No.
Okay.
That's not.
But the permissibility to stay on the land for any food truck, quite frankly, is there, so they can bring their own truck.
Right.
Which is, okay.
If we did sell this and whoever bought it wanted to put a food truck in the same area, they could. They would have to go through zoning clearance to make sure that it still meets the other requirements, that's not reducing parking.
But the permit would already, special permit would already.
Okay, there's somebody from the audience that would like to step forward. Would you please provide your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
I have been sworn, Wayne Logan, co-chair of Northland Community Council's Development Committee.
Of what?
Northland Community Council's Development Committee.
Well, this is outside your area.
Yes, sir, it is, but you asked for comment. We deal with this in the Northland area also. We've posed the very same questions to staff with the potential problem. It's first off, in our view, a violation of the Ohio Revised Code that requires all food trucks to leave the site every 40 days to gain a continuation of their permit. So you're giving them permanent authorization to stay on the site, yet the state of Ohio requires them to remove themselves at least once every 40 days to re-up their state permit. We've also raised the question then if we're concerned in the Northland area because we got at least 22 of these trucks that are currently in and around the major corridors, which we're in varying stages of working out these kinds of issues back to one is on hold right now pending judicial review because of other issues related to the site that were shut down. Don't wish to burden the committee with that issue. We've pointed out you're creating an immediate problem between the authorizations associated with food trucks, licensing, health review, permanent versus non-permanent devices on the site with regard to electrical permits, plumbing permits, things of that nature, versus giving them authorization. Classify what is a vehicle that is licensed by the state of Ohio that is meant to be transportable on the road, and yet giving them a permanent existence on a site creates conflicts between the city of Columbus and the state of Ohio,
So
those jurisdictions.
Who are you creating conflict with? The state of Ohio controls, right?
The state of Ohio controls the licensing
Right,
of the food.
so if the state of Ohio has licensed them, and the city has approved the plumbing, everything as you said, what is the problem?
The regulations for the state of Ohio requires the food truck to leave the site at minimum
What
of every
code,
40 days.
what code section? I'll look it up.
Well, before we get too involved in this, I asked for anybody that had something regarding this case. So I do appreciate you bringing this up, and I think that we should look at this and consider everything. But for purposes of this case, it has no relevance because you're speaking in generalities, not about this. And I would also say that we are not necessarily giving license to an activity. We're saying that something can be placed somewhere, which is a big difference. We're not in conflict, I don't believe, with the state of Ohio law. If we are, I'm sure that'll come back and we'll be able to address it. But I appreciate you bringing this issue to light. But again, it doesn't necessarily pertain to this case, as I believe. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against this proposal? Okay, somebody on the board want to call the question?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called, please call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Weatherly,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, your variance and special permit, is granted. Good luck.
Can I get the case number to put in, sorry, I couldn't find my.
Case number is BZA 22-159. Thank you so much. For the parties for BZA 23-023, 1692 Allen Creek Drive, please step forward. Good afternoon. Would you please provide us with your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
My name is Rick Cox with Sands Decker, and I have been sworn in.
Thank you very much. And who at the city has this case?
Can you remind me what that case was?
BZA 23-023.
Yeah. BCA 23-023, 1692 Allen Creek Drive. It was located on the east side of Allen Creek Drive, approximately 300 feet north of Freegas Avenue. It is zoned manufacturing and is part of the Columbus Southside Area Commission. The 2.187 acre site is undeveloped. The surrounding uses are primarily manufacturing. The applicant proposes to construct a 9,000 square foot warehouse. Variances are being requested to reduce the required number of parking spaces from 13 to 6 and to reduce the building setback from 80 to 50 feet. Plan is supportive of the proposed building elevations as they are consistent with the Columbus citywide planning policies, but continues to request additional bicycle parking beyond that required by code and landscape screening for parking for greater plan recommendation consistency. Staff note limitations for relocating parking to the side of the building due to setback and site topography conditions. The Division of Traffic Management states that the driveway with access to Allen Creek will need to be paved with an approved hard surface within the right of way and for a minimum distance of 25 feet beyond the right of way. The Columbus Southside Area Commission recommends approval of this request. The staff recommends approval. Staff recommend approval as the proposed development is consistent with the surrounding area and the variances are necessary due to limitations in the topography of the site. And we're asking the condition that the driveway with access to Allen Creek Drive will be paved with an improved hard surface within the right of way and for the minimum distance of 25 feet beyond the right of way line. So their original application, they were asking for a gravel lot, which they changed. They're gonna pave the whole thing. We're just going to make sure that apron where they're turning in is paved as well, because there's site plan currently show that. I assume they were planning on paving it, but we just want to lock that in with the condition. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you're saying the bicycle parking paved? I'm sorry.
No, the apron, where you turn in, yeah, exactly where you're circling.
Okay.
That was also gravel in the original site plan. Once they got rid of the gravel, that still shows it being gravel at that turn-in part. So we just want to make sure that that part is paved as well.
Thank you, Stacy. That drive apron was in a recent road widening on Allen Creek. I apologize for any confusion, but it is a brand new concrete apron that was installed prior to our purchase of the product.
Is it improved now?
Yeah, it's a brand new concrete apron that was put in concurrently with the road widening.
When were you there last?
It's the site plan didn't show it, so we just want to make sure that they show that it is.
We're showing it as existing, but
Yeah.
if you see a newer picture on Google Earth, it's a brand new drive apron, big radius. It's
Do you know like how 6 months ago, 2 months ago?
less than 3 years. There was a big road widening project that went down the way. Everything was improved in the right of way, including sidewalks.
Okay, I don't see any point in making it a condition if it is an existing circumstance, so.
Mr. Jones, if I may,
Yes,
the page condition he's referring to is in the right of way. The additional requirement is from the right of way to a 0.25 feet onto the property.
okay,
So we want some additional pavement to prevent gravel from, if there were to be gravel on the lot, prevent that from going out into the right of way as vehicles and the rest of the site.
do you understand the space that they're describing?
Yes, we were originally requesting gravel and that has been pulled off the table. We're doing full asphalt, the whole parking.
Okay, well, since it's not indicated here, Jamie, help me. If it's not indicated, do we need to make it a condition, or since it's not a request for a variance, is it automatic that it should be?
Let's just memorialize it with a condition.
Got it, thank you. And the additional condition of bicycle parking beyond,
That's planning's request. We can add that.
not necessarily, I'm just reading it, so I'm
Yeah.
prepared. I wonder what the thought was, bicycle parking for this.
We're showing, you can see it on the plans on the sidewalk connection they requested. That little
Right
bump
there.
out right there is bicycle park shown on the compliance plan that will be submitted shortly.
It says applicant provide additional bicycle parking beyond that that's required by code.
And are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so two conditions basically.
Mhm.
I see Laura is listed as the agent here. Is he okay to bind them on all of this?
She gave me a fair statement. So I didn't read it.
Of course.
Good.
You're the case planner, Adam.
Yeah.
What's the relationship there?
I don't. Are you the contractor for them?
Come again?
Are you the contractor that?
No, we're the civil engineering firm preparing the site plans.
So licensed engineers have the ability to negotiate.
Very good, thank you so much. So you have accepted the two conditions that we've described, and you have the recommendation of approval from the various city offices as well as the Columbus Southside Area Commission. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
Can I just clarify that first condition was the drive apron?
No, it's beyond the driveway.
Oh, okay, beyond drive. Okay,
Can you give us the distance?
Yeah, it's an additional 25 feet.
Yes, we're doing all pavement now, so.
Okay.
Sounds like that.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, can I read my statement from words?
If you want to.
Okay.
So,
We already said you can.
Oh,
You're
okay.
good, yeah.
Thank you. Again, my name is Rick Cox with Sands Decker. We're the engineers on the project. Laura is out of town. Unfortunately, we thought this would be heard last month, so she sends her apologies and requests approval based on the 100% community approvals and the merit of the request. To make use of the property, minor variances need to fit within the riparian corridor, et cetera. She met with everyone. Everyone supports the request, a very small facility scaled appropriately to fit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Thank you, sir. And if you could make room for him.
oh, sure.
Would you please provide your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
I have been sworn. My name is Doug Perry.
Okay, Mr. Terry, and be sure to sign in. You can do it after we finish.
Got it.
Go ahead.
I own the property just to the south of this property, so if you want to see the apron, I do have a picture of the apron that I took yesterday. But the apron is there, if you'd like to see it. So the apron is there. There is no bicycle, or never was a bicycle placement area as far as parking, if you will. So that has never been in place. I think the current owner bought the property, I think, December 27th of 21. I don't think they cut the grass since December 27th of 21. If you look at the pictures, they're not taking care of the property, and that to me is a problem. Obviously, you know, some of these stolen Kia cars that run around town, they end up there. I've had to call the police on a few occasions because some of those cars have shown up there. I hope for their betterment that, you know, we have a working relationship as neighbors. My one question is the 80-foot setback. Is that approved or not approved? What is that? In what direction are we doing the 80-foot setback?
Adam?
Proposed down to 50 feet.
They're doing a 50-foot setback. It was required to be an 80-foot setback.
The reason being is that topography, what he's meaning is because of the cost. I know what I see, because I am going down that hill as well. But when you look at that line, mine's farther deeper this way, but the line comes this way. So what they're doing is, I'm guessing and assuming, the reason they're wanting to put that building closer to Allen Creek, so they don't have to push any dirt over the hill for the pad to be able to build. Obviously, if someone's driving down Elm Creek, that's gonna impede the vision of somebody looking at my building, my advertisement. But is that the case? Is that they're wanting
Yeah.
50 feet instead of 80 feet
50 instead of 80, yeah.
from Elm Creek?
Yes.
What about from north to south, as far as those two directions?
They're compliant.
Okay, so they want to stay, that would be my only concern, the 50 to 80 feet. Obviously, they're out in front of my building. I do have, some excellent, advertisement on my building. But other than that, my guess is the reason it's getting pushed, and him being the engineer firm, I'm sure he understands the topography, the way that that falls off. It just cuts that whole corner off, and to where it's really, I had to do the same thing when I built my building. I had to push all the dirt from one side to the other to be able to get access and use that.
So are you speaking
Against it.
against the proposal because it will block your advertising?
Yeah, and 80 to 50 feet, I would be more in line with the 80 feet instead of the 50 feet.
Well, the 80 feet is compliant, so it doesn't matter,
Oh, so they're not
right?
going down to 50? Yeah, 80 is compliant.
You're saying you're okay with something, everybody's okay with
Yes,
80.
I'm okay with 80.
Everybody is, because that's the code requirement.
That's a code requirement, but the request is to go down to 50 feet.
Got it. Okay,
Other than that, that's it.
okay, thank you so much. Do we have I mean, it's hard, like, this gentleman drives by this site every day. For us, it's a little difficult for me anyway, to understand what we're talking about and the impact of his building and his advertising.
So it's a question, where's the building?
I mean, I'm trying to understand how this could adversely impact him. Maybe I don't have the full grasp. Are there more visuals of like looking at this thing from Allen Creek or like looking down the street? It's okay if you don't have it. I was just curious to kind of know what he's describing.
If I see that layout as what's up on the screen, we're below this layout, this direction,
Right.
going towards the floor in line.
Mhm.
And obviously, what we're having obviously, we've already had one road widening, here recently. And those improvements were done by, Columbus. But then when I did my expansion of our building, we added on 8,000 square feet. I had to put in a 10,000 over sidewalk, beautification, I had to put in trees and things such of that nature. But I would like to keep things in line, as far as our building. I mean, if we had to follow or go by the rules, I would hope that someone else would have to as well.
Okay, thank you so much. That is our venue here to kind of look at things that don't fit into the box.
Thank you.
And people have the opportunity to come and present.
Yes, sir.
Chair, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Perry, where's your advertisement? Is it?
So in front, we got two
on the front?
signs. We got two signs, one out in the yard, one up on the building. That actually is on the building.
Like on the top or on
No, it's on the side of the
the
building.
side of the building?
Yes, ma'am.
So not on the north elevation, but on the west elevation?
West elevation.
On the face of the building.
Yes, sir.
Well, I would understand if it was on the north elevation, that
Right.
building would block it, but it's the south elevation.
People have to be in front of it really to see it.
Yeah. Well, go back to the site plan. If the car heading south is right here, you're gonna see. Whether it's at 80 feet or 50. My 2 cents.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against this proposal? Okay, seeing and hearing none, are there any additional questions from the board members?
I'll call the question with the two conditions.
Question has been called with the two conditions. Please call the roll.
Mr. Lovely,
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, the variances are granted with the conditions. Thank you so much. Case BZA 23-043 for 5455 Cottage Street. Please step forward. I feel like this meeting's dragging a little bit. I need to pump it up or something. Okay, again, BZA 23-043 for 5455 Cottage Street. Not here. So far, we'll wait until the end. BZA 23-053 for 1888 East 17th Avenue. Again, BZA 23-053.
Look, you're moving.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, 044.
Pardon?
044.
Did I miss it?
Four, yeah.
Yeah, 0.1.
Oh, these things are stuck together. They're not stapled, just went too far. Sorry. The other person still didn't come up for 5, but BZA 23-0.
Hi, I'm for the 153
Come on up.
Expressway.
Yes, please come up. BZA 23-044,
Okay,
153 Montrose Way.
yes, my name is Bridget, go ahead.
You're on
Bridget
track.
Caria, and I've been sworn in.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Who's handling this case for the city?
I've got that.
Thank you.
BCA 23-044, 153 Montrose Way. It's located on the southwest side of Montrose Way, approximately 70 feet southeast of Irving Way. It's in the Clintonville Area Commission and it's zoned R3 residential. The 0.22 acre site is currently developed with a single unit dwelling and a detached garage. Surrounding uses are all single unit dwellings. The applicant proposes to replace the existing sunroom with a new 2-story addition and is requesting a variance to allow a vehicle to be parked in the side yard. Plainville neighborhood plan states that additions should be compatible and similar in character to existing nearby home designs measured in terms of height, width, setbacks, and lot coverage. Any proposed additions should be placed to the rear or side of the building and should be a quality design which contributes to the neighborhood. The proposed elevations are consistent with Plainville neighborhood plan design guidelines. The comments from the Division of Traffic Management on this application have been resolved. Plainville Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Staff recommends disapproval because staff consistently recommends disapproval of parking in the front and side yards. I would like to note, though, that this application, when originally submitted, was for a maneuvering variance, but during staff review, Division of Traffic Management said they would not be in favor of supporting that and recommended this route instead with stacking the vehicles behind the other garage space, and so did zoning clearance. They made the same comment.
But you're still recommending just
Yep, we want to be consistent across the board.
understand.
And then in your packet, there's also a letter of support from an adjacent neighbor.
Thank you so much. So you have the recommendation from a few city offices, but not our zoning staff. Do you want to kind of enlighten us as to why we should be giving consideration to this?
Well, it's a little bit of an odd shaped lot. A lot of clippable ones are a little bit tighter, and as it stands now, we're not able to use the right side of the driveway for parking and the garage for parking. How it stands now, the added 2.5 feet has no impact on it. I would actually like to say one thing I did think of, and it's in this picture, we have steps that are going out of the sunroom because there's a door there. The new sunroom will not have an exterior door, therefore those steps will be gone, and that would actually allow for an additional parking spot there with the removal of the steps, which would happen with the addition.
I feel like I'm just missing something here. So there's a 2-car garage and there's an existing sunroom, and you're talking about tearing that down?
Yes, and just, we're gonna keep the same length, we're just gonna widen it by 2.5 feet, which is
Into the
already a little
driveway.
wall. What was that?
Into the driveway?
Into the driveway, but it won't go into the driveway. You see the little, that's 2 feet there,
Sure.
and they're just gonna go an extra 6 feet off of that wall.
So they're coming up to where the bricks are, and this is where the maneuverability variance was originally applied for the second garage space, but it's very tight with that house right there, the sunroom.
Okay, thank you for that. So you want to park your car where it is that?
I'm just gonna leave the parking the exact same way, how it is.
Do you understand my question? There's a car in this photo.
Yes,
Is that what you want to do? Is that what we're talking about, parking in the side yard?
yes.
Go to the site plan. So here's the setback. It covers maybe a foot or less than a foot of the driveway. So technically, part of the car is in the side yard.
Yeah, so this is quite a bit different than most of the cases I think we see, which I think you were seeking to be consistent across the board. We generally say no parking there at all. And that's Isn't it classified differently though?
Go there. Yeah, and typically the reason why is because there's usually a house, put your mouse right by that, where the driveway would be. There's usually a house with a bedroom window next door. So that's another reason we would recommend approval. It doesn't seem like that's the case here, but again, to be consistent, you know, front yard, side yard, we typically recommend disapproval. But if you have the.
We also want to be consistent.
Right, but if you have the foresight to see that there's a difference here based on the location of the dwellings, so be it.
I guess what I looked at from what he just pointed out was that there's a side yard that we're looking at 2 feet. That's on the adjacent parcel, right? That he would, not the adjacent parcel, but 2 feet on the setback. Are we talking about the setback or the side yard?
Well, technically, anything between the house and the property line is side yard.
Right.
And there's a required side yard that you can't build into, which is typically 3 feet or 5 feet, depending on the zoning district. Which we vary quite a bit.
Let me keep wrapping my mind around it, but do you guys have questions or do you understand what we're looking at?
No, I do. So let's look at the adjoining property, because I think that the fact that that adjoining property is not what it looks like anywhere close to where somebody would be parking.
Is that the letter that we got to support from that property?
Oh, okay.
Let me just time this a little bit more here. Yeah, it's
Just another little breadcrumb. Say this house wanted to park in the other side yard. It would probably be under somebody's bedroom window, which is our typical, that's the guiding principle. But this one is nowhere near this person's bedroom in comparison to these kind of people, these kind of dogs.
I don't wanna like complicate this. That neighbor is actually in the process, it just got framed up. They built a garage kind of along our property side, a garage. So it's no bedroom, where there's no windows above on it that will be overlooking it. I don't know if that.
Okay, let's, I'm gonna continue to process this. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Okay. Didn't give too much time. So zoning board, you guys understand that we routinely don't do this. When we do this, we do open a can of worms that says that.
Against it.
Pardon?
So will be used against it.
Yeah, but and it will be used against us. And our basis for it, I guess, could be that there's no structure. There's no structure, so that could be kind of consistency.
You could say no habitable structure.
There's no.
And are you saying that the neighbor, which neighbor?
The one who's our driveway, on their side.
And he's putting a garage on your side?
Well, not on our, well, yes, yeah.
So he's gonna be coming and asking for a variance too.
No, he's not. He's already, I mean, it's being built.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, that's.
I get it.
I'm all for following precedent, but I think the facts of this case and the law distinction would give us grounds in future not to have to be locked into this decision and follow our recommendation usually.
I agree, but let's play this out a little bit. So let's say that somebody, now we're precluding, let's say that her neighbor wanted to put up an all-season room where he's putting up a garage. Now really, he's forced to build that up against basically a parking space, which is what we would not allow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
So, obviously we're looking at this homeowner's interest, but we also have to look at how do we, preclude the next homeowner next door, because eventually whoever gave their permission or their recommendation of acceptance won't live there forever. So I don't want to talk.
I do think they are gonna live there till they, as long as they can, I do think. I know, I understand. If you would like to, I have like drawings of what it will look like.
It's not just more our issue than yours.
Yeah.
It's, so, somebody want to call the question one way or the other?
I'll call the question. We'll see how it goes.
Question's been called, please call the roll. Well, I'm last.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Lovely,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, it is, variance is granted. And sorry for everybody, we have antics going on here, but we're generally very professional. So please forgive us. Your variance is granted. Good luck with.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So BZA 23-053 for 1888 East 17th. You almost missed your call last time.
I was looking at my agenda and it said,
Don't watch your agenda, listen to what I said.
yes, sir.
Sorry,
All right, please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn.
My name's Jack Reynolds and I have been sworn. I'm an attorney with Smith and Hale.
Thank you.
Okay, 1888 East 17th Avenue is located on the north side of East 17th Avenue, approximately 300 feet west of Woodland Avenue. Site is zoned M manufacturing and is located within the North Central Area Commission. The site is being used as a demolition and construction salvage yard. It's been operating without zoning clearance and did receive zoning code violation notices. Surrounding uses are primarily manufacturing. The nearest residentially zoned parcel is located 350 feet to the southeast and contains a cemetery.
Back to zone.
So it's that little corner down there. The applicant proposes to legitimize the demolition material storage into salvage. Request for a portable building as a North Central plan does not address that matter. The Division of Traffic Management states that right-of-way dedication of 40 feet from the center line of East 17th Avenue will be required, and that the proposed driveway will need to be paved and improved hard surface within the right-of-way and within 40 feet of the parking setback area. The North Central Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Staff can recommend approval as the site is in industrial area where manufacturing uses are encouraged. Provided the site is screened and buffered. Staff requests the following conditions: that the site plan will be stamped, that acknowledges both the screening and the hard surface of 40 feet within the site. The proposed driveway will need to be paved with an approved hard surface, again, reiterating that condition. And the special permit for the portable buildings will be valid for up to 1 year from the date of this board order. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you understand the conditions, the 3 conditions that were outlined, and accept those for the owner?
I did, and we accept those.
Okay, thank you. And you said street trees and landscaping. That's not, that is a condition, but it's not a.
It's memorialized on the site plan, so whatever's shown on the site plan meets that condition. So if you stamp the site plan, that's what they're tied to.
Thank you so much. So other than that, you have the recommendation of approval from all the city offices, as well as the North Central Area Commission. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
I'd just like to say that I can answer any questions. We're simply trying to solve a problem. My clients in court, this is the step to make the zoning proper for the site. We will then, if we're approved this evening, we will submit the final site compliance application, and then we go back down to court and get the case closed. But the young man has been operating at this location since 2017, and the area commission is very supportive of his operation. He does screen it. There have been landscaping in front of the building. It either dies or gets run over, so we're going to put it back in. So again, he's a member of the community and wants to stay there and operate his business.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this proposal? Any questions from the BZA members?
I guess I'm gonna bring up, The site plan, and I believe the site plan that you have only shows a 6-foot right-of-way dedication. And if we're gonna stay in the site plan, I think it needs to be noted that it's required to be 10 feet. And we looked at this and thought that there could be a chance that that may affect some of the setbacks on the site plan. They would want to consider that before having that.
So are you telling us to tell staff something here? Like,
I'm just saying.
is this what you wanted it to be, or is it missing
No.
the 10 feet?
That does not show the 10 feet. That only shows 6 feet. An additional 4 feet, it appears would impact the parking setback and potentially the dumpster location on the site plan. So that would render stamping that kind of fruitless.
Well, then if the applicant agrees to the conditions without the stamp site plan, we can still get the 40-foot of pavement and the landscaping. So no stamp site.
Isn't that important though, so we know the placement of everything?
Yes.
I mean, I understand that we might want to expedite all of this, and I'm open to suggestions, but I don't want to limit our rights, you know, representing the city and cause additional, any kind of additional timeline or hardship for the applicant, but I want to do it right. I mean, could I, in theory, could we agree to this and say the stamp site plan must be delivered and I can come in and sign it tomorrow?
Sure.
That'd be fine.
I'm saying.
I mean, well, let's just simply say I have to get back to the engineer and have him correct the plan. And then get it back to you, so maybe we can get Jamie to call you once it shows up.
I'm willing to do that,
Okay.
just in the interest of helping expedite
Okay.
things for you. I don't want to have to wait another month. It's my.
So it's 4 feet off,
Yeah, it's showing a 6-foot.
6 foot, and it should be 4 feet.
Dedication.
So that is not going to impact the location of the building or the parking setback, because what is Jamie, is
It's 10-foot setback.
10-foot setback for parking, so we should be fine.
Okay,
You mentioned the dumpster also.
well, that would have been, I mean, it shows a 40-foot parking and building setback on the site plan. That's what I was referencing. I don't know if that's accurate or required. That's just what it showed on the site plan.
I think it's existing. Oh, no, that's correct. Well, again, what it is today and what it is required under code, we're talking about an 80-foot setback or right of way, correct?
Well, with a new dedication to 40 feet, yes.
Yeah, so it would be, the building then would have to be 40 foot. And so the engineer put a 40-foot setback from, is that the existing? Or is it from the dedicated? Great. Good question.
So again, I think that we can vote on the variances.
Yeah.
And I don't want to exclude, I don't really feel comfortable excluding the site plan. So that would be subject to you bringing it back and getting it stamped, but it'll still be a condition.
Okay.
And you guys will of course look at it and tell me if it looks okay. Okay. I don't know if I asked, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against? I think we got nothing. BZA, any additional questions?
Just one, are you sure that your client will be amenable to the 10-foot versus 6-foot? I think that's been it the whole time. I think that the request was that there be 40 feet of right of way. I'm not sure why the engineer went with 6 foot.
Okay.
But
As long as it's a correction, I'm okay with it.
yeah.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was gonna say, I agree with that. You know, we've been working with the assumption that 10 feet was going to be dedicated.
Yeah.
It just.
It was a part of staff recommendations from the get-go.
Got it.
Okay.
So
Want to call the question?
I'll call the question with the conditions.
Question's been called with the conditions.
Now we're adding another condition.
No,
Okay.
no additional conditions, just the three that are there. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ludwig,
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes. Variances
Thank
are
you,
granted.
folks.
We'll look for your revised.
It'll get
site
there.
plan. BZA 23-054 for 2910 Scioto Darby Executive Court. Please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn.
Craig Moncrief, attorney for the applicant. Yes, I have been sworn.
Thank you very much. City?
2910 Scioto Darby Executive Court is located on the east side of Scioto Darby Executive Court, approximately 366 feet north of Scioto Darby Creek Road. It is zoned M2 manufacturing and is part of the West Scioto Area Commission. The 1.03 acre site is developed with an office and warehouse. Surrounding uses are multi-unit residential to the east and office warehouses to the north, west, and south. The applicant proposes to change the use of an office and warehouse to an animal kennel. A special permit is being requested to allow an animal kennel with dog runs to be permitted in the M manufacturing district. Additionally, a variance is being requested to reduce the building setback line from 50 feet to 45 feet. The site was approved for CB 23-043, which allows for animal boarding facilities with outdoor runs. Planning is in full support of the proposal that includes additional trees and headlight screening along with the northern edge of the parking lot, as consistent with the Trayview Roberts area plan and C2P2 design guidelines. The Division of Traffic Management had no comments, and the West Side Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Staff recommend approval as the nature and intensity of this use are at a small enough scale so as to not pose any environmental, health, or nuisance concerns for the surrounding area. The proposal is compatible with the general intent of the zoning district and the area plans intended use for the location. It is consistent with C2P2 design guidelines, and just something to note, the Columbus Humane Society is approximately 1,000 feet from this location, so it's consistent with other things in the area.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moncrief, you have the recommendation of approval from all of the city offices as well as the West Scioto Area Commission. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
Not much. This is a doggy daycare, kind of standard type of use with grooming and some overnight with the outdoor requests as well. So just here to answer any questions. I got two representatives with Uptown Lounge too, here to answer any questions or talk about dogs.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Seeing and hearing none, is there any questions from the BZA staff or the BZA?
I'll call the question.
Question has been called. Please call the roll.
Ms. Engelhoff?
Yes.
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yes, variances are granted. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
BZA 23-057 for 1741 Markland Court. Good evening. Would you please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Brian Miller, yes, I've been sworn.
Okay. When you get a chance, go ahead and sign in for us.
BCA 23-15057 for 1741 Marshland Court. It's located on the south side of Marshland Court, approximately 285 East Reed Road. It's in the Northwest Civic Association and it's zoned R1 residential. The 0.27 acre site is developed with a single unit dwelling with an attached garage. Surrounding uses are primarily single unit residential with commercial to the immediate west and multi-unit residential to the south and west. The applicant proposes to construct a new front deck and split level rear deck. Variance is being requested to reduce the required rear yard from 25% to 14.5%. Planning does not oppose the request, but encourages the applicant to preserve the mature trees on site. The Northwest Plan recommends that mature trees be preserved whenever possible and that tree preservation measures should be density neutral. As such, if the applicant is unable to preserve trees, replacements should be provided elsewhere on the property. Division of Traffic Management has no comments on this application. The Northwest Civic Association recommends approval of requested variance with the condition that the owner commit to adding at least one tree in the front yard. Staff can recommend approval of the requested variance as the site develops so as to provide plenty of open space. However, because this parcel has a large front yard, the rear yard is less than code compliant. Parcel directly to the south is a commercial development that is buffered by mature trees. And staff is requesting a condition that the applicant will commit to adding at least one tree to the front yard. which they also committed to at the area commission.
Thank you very much. So you have the recommendation from city staff as well as the Northwest Civic Association. And you have agreed already to accept the condition to add at least one street tree to the front yard.
Yes, that landscaping is done by a different company, but I did get the agreement from the homeowner to put that tree in the front yard.
Okay.
It looks like it was removed a couple months, years ago. There used to be one there.
Okay, it just as long as you understand that it's a condition. And that brings up, so you're not the homeowner.
No, he's the applicant.
He is the applicant, not the owner. So how are you the applicant, not the owner? We're talking about a house, right?
Yeah, I believe.
Yes, we're the contractor for the project.
So generally, in a project like this, don't we usually have the homeowner as the applicant still?
Usually, yeah.
So Jamie, maybe you can enlighten us a little bit. So this gentleman is the contractor, right?
Yes.
It looks like there's a limited power of attorney in the packet.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
Yes.
much. That clears things up.
Yeah, it was. That's right.
Okay, so nothing additional to add,
No.
and you've agreed to the condition.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for or against this proposal? Please step forward. You could just move the mic over and give her room to speak. And the sheet to sign in is over there. Did you get that, sir?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
I'm Hannah Cox and I have been sworn in
Thank
and
you.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Northwest Civic Association. And we were happy to approve this after they agreed to to add another tree in the yard. So I was just here to answer any questions about that.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against this proposal? Seeing and hearing no one, is there any question from the BZA members?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Weltley,
Yes.
Ms. Akellbaum,
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes, your variance is granted. Good luck. BZA 23-058 for 5085 Reed Road. Please come forward. Yes. Sir, if you want to take a pause, you're welcome to stay in your seat. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Pause for the cause. That's unusual. Normally. Well, I mean, you know, we're pretty early on in this thing. Wow. For some reason it is, I feel like it's driving. I feel like I'm supposed to go back.
They're not coming. They're not coming.
Did you?
Well, yeah, because we got a light on it, so.
You showed up.
I remember.
Yeah, go ahead. Enjoy yourself.
Well, that's the area commission recommendation is everything else. So you can get to go. I do everything from the book. And I know one of my wives is to see because they. I know.
Don't might mess up there.
As a lawyer, I see these people all the time. It's just actually work.
Safety for meeting bases. Yeah.
I'll feel a lot better. That's those kids that does show up.
First phase, I taught this for my city extension. Propose, yeah, it's the touch. It wasn't. She didn't have any, just the food, but there's somebody is. So you out there, it's like a food truck, maybe scared away. I think more. I think. She's, I think she was, it's going to be some code. Oh, so I told her. Something of that. Like I still need that families have really always been getting spilled in homes for one because start. Oh, that's she don't create this for some house or sure, yeah. It's too really easy to start out. Yeah. Okay, that was the other stuff.
Yeah.
Conditions.
Thank you.
This was supposed to be.
Threw things off. Everybody was good.
I couldn't wait.
No, I get it. I get it.
For the month.
Oh, really?
This would be. Don't you see this one? It's like 55 an hour. So.
Thank you. We're going to resume our meeting and start with BZA 23-058 for 5085 Reed Road. Ready? I'm ready. We're ready. Would you please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Sure. Mark Antoinette, engineer with Sands Decker, and yes, I've been sworn in.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat.
BZA 23-058 for 5085 Reed Road. It's located on the west side of Reed Road, approximately 680 feet south of Bethel Road. It's in the Northwest Civic Association and Zone C2 Commercial. The 8.4 acre site is currently developed with an office building and associated parking lot. Current uses are multi-unit residential, a church and medical office to the east, commercial offices to the north, a park to the west, and single unit residential to the south. The applicant proposes to convert an existing office building to a charter school and is requesting a variance to eliminate the requirement to buffer residentially zoned property to reduce the width of required headlight screening to 2 feet wide and to allow for breaks in the screening that total up to half of the total length of the property line. Planning supports the proposal. The Northwest Plan states that screening should be provided between residential and non-residential uses. The revised site plan and proposed landscape plan are consistent with these guidelines. All comments from the Division of Traffic Management on this application have been resolved. The Northwest Civic Association recommends approval of requested variance with the following language. Variance to eliminate the requirement to buffer residentially zoned property to reduce the width of required headlight screening to 2 feet wide and to allow for breaks in the screening that total up to half of the total length of the affected property line. Applicant has until May 15th of 2024 to complete the plantings. Staff can recommend approval of the requested variance because adequate screening is being provided between this property and the residences to the south, and the intent behind the landscaping screening requirements are being met between this property and the park to the west. Staff is recommending conditions that the site plan and landscaping plans be stamped, and the applicant has until May 15th, 2024 to complete the plantings as shown.
Thank you. So the 2 feet that the Northwest Civic Association referenced, is that indicated here on this?
Yes, that was kind of breaking down. The request was to vary the entire A, B, and C, B, C, and D of the landscape and screening code section. And that was really just breaking out those individual sections, which is the 2 feet of cover.
Okay. And everybody's okay with this. So help me understand, is Bethel on the right-hand side?
That would be Reed Road.
Okay. So Bethel is where?
Would be to the north.
The top. Okay.
That's not Bethel Road. That's not Bethel Road.
To be further north.
Yeah, it's,
Okay,
There's a church on that corner.
Okay. okay.
it's about 700 feet to the north.
Got it, okay, thank you. And so we're okay not screening because, I'm trying, can you bring back the parking?
So the residential is on the south, and that's where they're providing, allowing the breaks of up to 50%. Yep. Can you go to the landscaping plan?
Oh, landscaping? Yeah.
So that all of the landscaping on the south is to buffer the residential. The west, there's a park there which is zoned residential. And that's kind of what caused the issue with this application. And these are, and they have the planting shown as well as the existing images showed the trees that are there currently.
Okay, thank you very much. So you have the recommendation of approval with the two conditions, site stamp plan and completion date. Are you accepting of those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Yes, ma'am. Please step forward. And just again, for the record, please indicate your name and whether or not you've been sworn.
I'm Hannah Cox, and I was sworn in, again, with the Northwest Civic Association. We recommend approval. Recreation and Parks encourage the applicant to request the variance so that there wouldn't be a 5-foot fence between the park and shared use parking area. And we appreciated that Rec and Parks and the applicant worked with us to find a site plan that everyone was comfortable with. And I was just here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Any additional questions from the staff or, I'm sorry, BZA members?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called. Please call the roll.
Ms. Abelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Lovely?
Yes.
Terry Jones?
Yes. Variances with the
Thank you.
conditions granted.
Thank you.
BZA 23-059, 118 West 9th Avenue. Hello, sir. Would you please provide your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Justin Garland, Buckeye Real Estate, yes, I've been sworn.
Thank you.
I have hard copies, would like,
You have what?
hard copies, of the information the board would like.
Okay.
Go ahead and, yep. All right, 118 West 9th Avenue is located on the north side of West 9th Avenue, approximately 50 feet west of Hunter Avenue. It is part of the University Area Commission and the existing zoning is AR4 residential district. The 0.14 acre site is currently developed with parking lot and freestanding garage. Surrounding uses include a broad mix of single unit and multi-unit dwellings to the north, south, east, and west. The applicant proposes to raise the existing garage and construct a new 3-unit dwelling. The applicant is requesting variances to increase the maximum lot coverage from 30% to 39.5%, which would be from 1,800 square feet to 2,371 square feet. To reduce the required number of parking spaces from 14 to 8, to increase the maximum floor area ratio from 0.6 to 0.82, to increase the maximum cornice eave height from 35 feet to 35 feet 6 inches, and to reduce the minimum side yard from 5.4 feet to 3 feet. Planning staff supports the proposal. The proposal is generally consistent with the university district plan. Staff notes that although the length of the structure is slightly more than 2.5 times the width, and the proposed floor area ratio is greater than that outlined in the plan, staff recognizes that the length and massing is appropriate and comparable to the lengths and massing of adjacent structures. As such, staff supports the proposal. Department of Traffic Management has no comments. The University Impact District Review Board supports the requested variances and the University Area Commission recommends approval of this request. City Department's recommendation as such is approval. Staff can recommend approval as the proposal is appropriate for the surrounding area in terms of aesthetics and housing density given the intense housing demand in the university area commission. Chair.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Garland, you have the recommendation of approval from University Impact District Review Board, as well as the University Area Commission, city staff, and city offices. These variances seem to be negligible in nature in terms of their differences or variances, no pun intended. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
No, just that they, both of the commissions and review boards did, approve this unanimously.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Seeing and hearing none, are there any questions from BZA board members?
I have a question. What's the parking situation?
It will be 4 double stacked parking spaces, so we'll allocate 2 per unit.
From how many that is currently there?
Currently, I don't know exactly how many are there now. It's just a vacant lot.
Yeah, it's a gravel lot currently.
I was just trying to do our friend, Mr. Demora.
In spirit.
Smile. He's here in spirit. Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Okay. Am I going to call the question?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called. Please call the roll.
Mr. Weldon,
Yes.
Ms. Agawam,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes, variances are granted. Good luck with your bill.
Thank you.
BZA 23-061 for 5785 Central College Road. Good evening. Would you please give your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Yes, Alexis Gavier. I'm an architect with Mullen Weidman Architects, and yes, I've been sworn.
Thank you very much. Would you sign in when you get an opportunity?
BZA 23-061 5785 Central College Road is located on the southeast corner of Central College Road and Harlem Road. Is zoned R rural and is part of the Northland Community Council. The 3.67 acre site is undeveloped. Surrounding uses are primarily single-use and residential dwellings. The applicant proposes to construct a City of Columbus fire station. Variances are being requested to reduce the parking setback line, not to provide shade trees, and to reduce the lot width. Planning supports the variance request as the proposal is generally consistent with the Rocky Fork Blacklead Accord design recommendations. Staff notes that the rear-facing parking lot, as well as the headlight screening on the south side of the site, are consistent with the RFBA plan. And the planning recommendation, therefore, planning supports these variance requests. The Northland Community Council recommends approval of this request. Staff would recommend approval as the applicant has worked out maneuvering issues with Division of Traffic Management, and because the building is consistent with C2P2 commercial design guidelines, and has the appropriate screening. Additionally, staff note that shade trees will be planted on the perimeter of the parking lot rather than the interior, as the lot will not feature islands or peninsulas in order to meet the facility maintenance requirements for winter months. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So you have the recommendation of approval from the Northland Community Council as well as the city offices. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
No, this year, if you have any questions, I also have Matt Klingler here, who's the applicant of the city. If you have any questions for him.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Yes, sir. Please step forward and give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn.
I have been sworn, Wayne Logan, co-chair of Northland Community Council Development Committee. The council did approve this 15-0 in support. Wanted that on the record. And the only thing since this time, we have had inquiry from 3 sources concerned regarding the, and I just want to verify here in the meeting that it was agreed by everyone that the maximum building height of 53 feet is in compliance with the overall height of the building, which exceeds that. But if you if she could indicate how she arrived at that, that should be sufficient to address that question.
Okay, can you guys speak to that?
You're allowed to go 1 foot up every 2 feet, you're set back from the right of way.
Okay.
And with how our, so the area in question is actually in regards to our apparatus bays, which are faced towards the east of the site. So it's the area that's closest to the church, which is a larger structure there, just for siting purposes. Can you go to the exterior elevations? Is there another sheet? Okay, so that sheet right there, yeah, so that top elevation, the area in question is the apparatus bays, and it's actually in regards to our cupola. So our apparatus bays, looking at the center line of the roof, we are 35 foot 8 inches above, and for every 2 feet, you get 1 foot, correct?
Yeah, for every 2 feet back, you're 1 foot higher, and that's from the building setback, sorry, not the right of way.
Correct. And so in that area, we are, sorry, I thought I had that mentioned, clearly noted. In that area, we are approximately 45 feet back from the building setback. The other area that we have there is our cupola, which is an additional 45 foot back from the front of the building. So given those distances, we feel that we are in compliance with the 2-to-1 ratio.
Sounds like city staff has said you are, so there you go.
For sure.
Anything additional?
No.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Seeing and hearing none.
Call the question.
Question has been called. Please call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Weatherly?
Yes.
Mayor Jones?
Yes, the variance is granted. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. BZA 23-062 for 915 Green Ridge Road. Good evening.
Tina Weller and Tina.
Tina Well.
And I have been sworn in.
Rob Weller, I've been sworn.
Thank you very much.
All right. 915 Green Ridge Road is located on the southeast corner of Stony Creek Road and Green Ridge Road. It is part of the Northwest Civic Association, and existing zoning is RR Residential District. The 0.31 acre site is currently developed with a single unit dwelling. Surrounding uses include a similar mix of single unit dwellings in the north, south, east, and west. The applicant has installed a fence in the required yard fronting Stony Creek Road. The applicant is thus requesting a variance to legitimize that fence with height greater than 2.5 feet and opacity greater than 25% in a required yard. Planning has no comment on the proposal. The Northwest Plan does not address this specific matter, and therefore planning has no comment. The Division of Traffic Management states that it would appear that the requested variance would not adversely impact required sight lines at adjacent intersections or driveways. The Northwest Civic Association recommends approval of this request. Likewise, City Department's recommendation is that of approval. Staff can recommend approval as the degree to which the fence violates clear vision code is slight and, per the Division of Traffic Management, does not present a traffic safety hazard. We also have received several emails from surrounding residents in this area. Then I do have a copy of those here. They are a mix of both for and against recommending the approval. Chair.
Thank you very much. So you have the recommendation of approval from various city offices. Northwest Civic Association also recommends approval. Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
Of the 12 letters that I was asked to mail out, one of them was to Monica Tuttle, who was from the Civic Association. One I did not speak to because they were home, but I hand delivered to the other 10. And of those 10, they were within the 125 feet. And they all said they had no problem with the fence. So our nearest neighbor said no problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this proposal? Yes. Please step forward. Can you guys give him room at one of those seats so he can speak? Please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been
My name
sworn.
is Robert Horn, and yes, I've been sworn.
Okay.
Actually, if you put that last picture up, that picture was taken from my driveway. And so I'm the homeowner that lives adjacent to the property, and I'm in favor of the variance.
Okay, would you please sign your name there? Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Hannah Cox from the Northwest Civic Association, and we did recommend approval of this, with the limitation that the fence always be less, than 50% opaque. Just so the variance locks in a certain capacity limit, but we thought the fence, looks nice and is open, does not obscure sightlines, so wanted to approve.
So is it, so you guys conditionally approved it?
Yes.
We can add that as a condition.
How does staff feel about that? Good with it, or? I don't want to impose something unnecessarily, but I want to be clear that, that was a conditional approval from the Civic Association.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys okay with not having it? Or you want to?
Indifferent.
Either way. So it was more than, less than 50%?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can add that.
Okay, do you guys understand? Thank you very much, Hannah.
Thanks.
As applicants, do you understand what that means?
Yes.
And you're accepting that condition?
Yes.
Okay, great. Any additional questions from BZA members? Seeing and hearing none, somebody want to call the question with the condition?
Call the question with the condition.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Lovely,
Yes.
Ms. Engelhoff,
Yes.
Mayor Jones.
Yes, the variance is granted. I would say good luck, but it's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you for your patience. BZA 23-063. And before we get started with that, sir, that you're in the audience, are you here for 2317 West Broad?
I was representing the Indian Hill Residents Association for the Greenbridge on
So you're a straggler.
Straggler.
You can feel free to stay there. I was just making sure.
Going it for lunch.
We're here every month. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you please give us your name and indicate whether or not you've been sworn?
Maxwell Natasha, I have been sworn.
Jennifer Rubiner, I have been sworn.
Thank you. Go ahead and sign in when you get a chance.
1110 East Fulton Street is located on the north side of East Fulton Street, approximately 150 feet east of South Champion Avenue. It is part of the Near East Area Commission and existing zoning is R3 residential district. The 0.06 acre site is currently undeveloped. Surrounding uses include single unit and multi-unit dwellings to the north, south, east, and west, as well as 2 churches to the east and the Ohio Avenue Elementary School to the west. The applicant proposes to construct a new single unit dwelling. Due to the reduced size of the lot, the applicant is requesting variances to reduce the lot area for a single unit dwelling from 5,000 square feet to 2,438 square feet, to reduce the minimum required rear yard area from 25% to 20%, and to reduce the building setback line from 10 feet to 5 feet 6 inches. Planning is in full support of the proposed building elevations, but encourages the applicant to reorient the porch, stoop, and door toward East Fulton Street. The Near East Area Plan states that the orientation of the facade of new construction should reflect the existing buildings, and the proposal shows a front door oriented to face the alley, while other homes along East Fulton Street have their front doors oriented towards the street, which is inconsistent with the guidelines. Therefore, planning is supportive, but encourages modifications for greater consistency with the plan design guidelines. With the revised site plan, all division of traffic management comments have been resolved, and that is this site plan here. Near East Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Likewise, City Department's recommendation is that of approval. Staff can recommend approval as the variances are necessitated by the limited size and location of this lot. Furthermore, the resulting density would be consistent with other lots found in the surrounding area. We do ask that the following condition be applied, that the applicant shall commit to a set of stamped elevations that I have here. Chair.
Thank you so much. You have the recommendation of approval from the Near East Area Commission and the city offices with one condition that I stamped the site plan of elevations. Do you agree to that?
Yes.
Is there anything additional that you'd like to add?
No, I think we're all right.
Okay. Well, there's nobody else here to ask if they want to speak for this proposal. So BZA, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called. Please call the roll.
Ms. Eaglehawk?
Yes.
Mr. Weatherly?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yes, variances are granted. Thank you. Take care. You're welcome. Thank you.
What do we do with this?
One more time, I'm going to call for BZA 22-159-2317 West Broad Street. Let the record reflect that nobody has come forward.
Do we table it or?
No.
Okay, I'm asking the question.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, let me go ahead and sign these, and we're here alone, so staff can be here for this, correct or not?
I think now, right?
No, staff and see it. Okay, everyone would have some. It'd be very short, so I can come and get staff just to close out the meeting.
Come back with that.
Who prepared this information?